Children, we are going to study today Life Processes, Chapter 6, and the topic is Transport in Plants. Transport in plants is one of the important life processes, and we will be able to understand what and how transport takes place in the plants. Energy needs differ in different organisms. Animals require more energy than plants because plants are not moving. Therefore, plants require less energy, and that also tells us how the transport system is adjusted itself into transporting very simple molecules like food, gases, minerals, hormones, salts, and waste products are moved from part to part in the plants using water as the medium. Some plants are tall, some plants are very short. We call them herbs, shrubs, and trees. In each of these plants, transport system takes a different way, but for all this purpose, uh, water, and all the other materials. Now, there are two important tissues that help in transport of water and food materials. One is called xylem, meant for transporting water. The other is phloem, meant for transporting food molecules. All parts of the body, plant body, are connected to these two tissues. Now here I have shown you a diagram of the xylem. Xylem is a tissue having two kinds of cells. One is parenchyma cells, and sometimes they are called vessels, and another is called trachea. Two kinds of cells are there, and these cells will be seen continuously running in the form of columns in the plants from root to the root tip. In all branches and in every leaf we find xylem. The next one is the phloem. Phloem contains two kinds of cells, companion cells, and see these cells help in translocation of food. That means food molecules move from the place of manufacturing to all the other parts. We shall study these little more detail in higher classes, but we shall say how these two systems help in transport of materials in the plants. Here I have shown you the transporting tissues, that is xylem and phloem. There are three diagrams here. This is one diagram. This is second diagram. This is third diagram. In the first diagram, that is a cross section of a stem, monocot stem, and you find the vascular bundles are distributed all over. Vascular bundle refers to a, a condition where, like this, imagine like that, you have xylem and we have phloem outside, and maybe sometimes another tissue called cambium may be present here. It's called xylem and phloem. This combination of xylem and phloem, it's called the vascular bundle. That is the vascular bundle we have shown here, and this is the this figure indicates in dicot stems. They are normally distributed to the periphery or the almost outer part, but in the monocot they are all distributed all over. You will see and read the differences more in the higher classes. in the third diagram, we have shown that a vascular bundle, this is the vascular bundle which I am showing, contains xylem, it contains phloem, and maybe there may be a central part, and that part may be sometimes called the interphasic, it may be sometimes called cambium. That we will not get into right now. But what you should know right now would be that the transporting tissues consist of xylem and phloem. Xylem is xylem and phloem. Xylem is helpful conducting water. Phloem is helpful in transporting or translocating food material. Transport of water is discussed in this PPT. You have seen a very small plant here, very small plant, and that may be called shrub, and here is a very, very long tree. In both the cases, water is transported from roots. Roots absorb the water, and water goes up all the way by means of three processes. One is called osmosis, second, root pressure, third, transpiration pull. So all the three different activities help in transporting water from roots to all parts of the plant. However tall the plant may be, whatever the length of the plant may be, but water is transported from the roots to the upper part. There may be, somebody may ask me a question in the class, sir, rain will fall on the leaves, will the leaves absorb water? Perhaps the answer would be no. They may absorb a little water, but water will not go into the leaves because the leaves will contain a waxy material. All the water plants require for their activities will have to come from the roots. We shall see how roots absorb water. Here I will try to show you. Imagine this is a plant. Just I am writing to show you the plant, and the plant may contain a large number of roots. There may be different types of roots, tap root system, fibrous root system, etc. And every root ends up in a number of root hairs, very, very fine, small root structure called root hairs. See, I am trying to write, but my handwriting may not be very good here, but I will explain what happens here. Each root hair, supposing that is a root hair, imagine that is a root hair, that root hair comes in contact with soil particles. It is a soil particle. Let's say that is soil. That is the place where the root hairs are seen. In the soil, we have water. Water is present. Water also contains a number of dissolved salts are there, and salts are there in the soil. And root hairs first absorb these salts in the form of ions. They absorb it in the form of ions. Ions are the charged particles. So root hairs may absorb by means of simple diffusion. Diffusion refers to a process where particles or molecules move from higher concentration to lower concentration, because roots may contain less ions. They contain less ions. So ions move into roots to begin with. And then by that is by process of diffusion. Once the root hair gets the ions, and this becomes highly, now this will contain now less water. Water content in this root will be less at this point of the time, less water. So now water is more outside the root. Here you have more water, excess water is here, and this water now moves into the root hair through a semi-permeable membrane. Root, root, you have the cells in the root, that is the cells. Each cell may contain the membrane, and that membrane is called the cell membrane. So water enters into the root through the cell membrane, and this is called semi-permeable membrane, and that movement of molecule of water or the movement of, they call solvent. Water is a solvent. Movement of solvent molecules, that is water molecules, into the root is called osmosis. That process is called osmosis. So through osmosis, water enters into the plant body from the soil. When once the water enters into the root, that is, a number of cells will contain root cells are there in the root. Imagine they are all the cells. Each cell will be loaded with or charged with water. Water moves in all the places, and that will create a kind of a pressure, and that pressure is called osmotic pressure. Due to osmosis, there will be a pressure inside the cells, and that pressure is called osmotic pressure, because the cells are called turgid, they fill with water. Osmotic pressure. This osmotic pressure moves the water upwards. It moves the water upwards. And similarly, now you have the leaves here. Imagine there are leaves here, and these leaves in the daytime, they will get the sunlight. They will get this sunlight is there, and sunlight will fall upon, and these also will exposed to sunlight. Due to heat, water evaporates. Water evaporates, and that evaporation of water, you have studied already in the lower classes. Evaporation of water takes place from the leaf surface, and through stomata present in the undersurface, through stomata water escapes, and that process is called transpiration. You all learned it in your lower classes. Through stomata water evaporates, and that process is called transpiration. Transpiration means throwing out of water in the form of water vapor from the leaves through stomata is transpiration, and this transpiration also exerts a pressure, and it pulls the water upwards. It pulls water. It pulls water from the xylem, and that is called transpiration pull. So water moves up in the plant body by three processes: osmosis, transpiration pull, and also osmotic pressure. So you will try to understand these things in your higher class in much more better way. Now, I explained to you already movement of water in the xylem tissue and in the vessels, in the tracheids or the cells, and it continuously they move and through the channels. That means xylem becomes a tube-like structure, and this tube-like structure will help the water to move upwards. Along with the soil water, there will be some more liquid in the cell, and that liquid also present, and that also will be going upwards sometimes. That means or at the roots, cells are in contact with the soil, they take up ions. That creates a difference in the concentration of these ions between the root and the water. Water, that is solvent molecules, move into the root, and they in a process called osmosis. And I explained to you, it creates a push called osmotic pressure, and water moves up, and transpiration pull also helps in moving the water upwards. So by three processes, water moves from root to the all parts of the plant body. Now I explained to you already what is transpiration pull. Evaporation of water takes place during daytime, and that evaporation creates a kind of a suction, and along with the water some sap or some ions and other things present in the liquid in the cell is called the cell sap. Cell sap also moves up. This is called ascent of sap. Ascent means going up. Cell sap also goes up. And uh, especially transpiration helps in pulling the water upwards. Transpiration helps in temperature regulation, and this you should remember. Root pressure also helps in moving the water upwards. So you remember three important forces: osmosis, osmotic pressure, transpiration pull helps in pulling the water from root tip to all parts of the plant. Now, the word translocation is used for transport of food. You know, food is manufactured in the plant during daytime. All the green plants will prepare food in the daytime, and that process we called it photosynthesis. And during that time when the food is made, food is stored in the leaves in the form of starch. In the form of starch. Here I will show you starch. And in the night, as the night advances, starch, which is a complex molecule, will be converted into sugar. Starch becomes glucose. In the As the night falls, it becomes glucose, and then what happens is, in the glucose, that is the sucrose, is loaded in the source. Source means the leaves. All the leaves will have sucrose by night times, and this sucrose dissolves in water. It dissolves in water and the concentration becomes more, and then because of this there will be difference in the concentration. Water starts moving from place to place, and as the water moves, it builds up the pressure, and that's called the that pressure is called the makes the water to move from one place to other place, and that means they move in a bulk. That's called mass flow. They move in a mass, and along with that, sucrose also moves because it is soluble in water. Along with the water, along with the water molecules, the sucrose molecules also moves into thing, and that goes to sink, refers to all the cells. So water in the plant body makes the sucrose to dissolve in the night, and dissolved food materials moves into these tubes, especially of the phloem cells, and these phloem cells will carry all the food molecules from the source, that is from the leaves, to all the parts. It may go to branches, it may go to roots also. That mass movement of food takes place, and that is often called translocation. Translocation of food takes place in the night times, and that happens with the help of phloem. And for that, a number of theories are given. One of the important theories is called the mass flow theory. Please remember that. You have to remember for the examination, whatever the food is made by means of photosynthesis will be stored in the leaves in the morning times. As the night passes, starch is converted into sucrose, and that sucrose dissolves in water, and water brings the dissolved food into the phloem cells, and the phloem cells will take the food molecules, dissolved molecules, to all the parts in downward and also lateral ways. That distribution of food by the phloem is called translocation of food. Here I explain to you, whatever the food is made in the photosynthesis, phloem transports especially food molecules, amino acids, and other substances to all the parts. Transport of soluble products, glucose, is called translocation. It happens mostly during the night time, and the leaves will be ready next day morning for doing photosynthesis. That means they will they will distribute all the food made up in the morning to all the parts of this plant body by means of translocation. Translocation of food and other substances takes place in the sieve tubes, and sieve tubes are a part of the phloem, and that there are two types, companion cells and sieve tubes in the phloem. They will take the food in all directions. So translocation takes place in the tissue called phloem. Phloem has two types of cells, sieve tubes and companion cells, that takes place during energy. Unlike transport in xylem, which can be largely explained by simple physical process like osmosis and diffusion, translocation takes place by means of energy. It utilizes energy. Materials like sucrose is transferred into phloem tissue in the form of ATP molecules. This increases the osmotic pressure of the tissue, causing water to move. As the water moves, sucrose also moves in the phloem and comes to all parts of the cell. During spring, sugar stored in the root or stem tissue would be transported to buds. You know, spring means when you find a large number of new flowers will be coming, buds will be coming, and they require more energy. Therefore, at that time, sugar stored in different parts will be taken away and supplied to those parts. For this, energy is required. So, translocation requires energy, and that energy comes from the sucrose. Now here are some questions you may have to answer for your examination. What are the components of transport system in plants? I told you, remember, xylem and phloem. What are the functions of these components? Xylem helps in conducting water from roots to all the parts. Phloem helps in translocating food to all the parts, from the leaves to all the parts. Define osmosis, diffusion, translocation, transpiration, pull. Osmosis is a process in which solvent molecules move from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. That mostly happens at the root system. Diffusion refers to physical movement of molecules from higher concentration to lower concentration. Example, if you put a sugar cube in the water, sugar cube dissolves because sugar is concentrated molecules will dissolve into water. That is diffusion. Translocation refers to transport of food molecules and soluble molecules from the leaves to all the parts of the plant body, and that is translocation. It happens via phloem. Transpiration pull refers to a suction power generated during evaporation of water or transpiration of water, and that helps in pulling the water to great heights in a large plant. How are water and mineral transported in plants? You say it is transported by means of xylem, especially through a process called osmosis. How is food and soluble products are transported? For that you have to explain translocation. How evaporation of water from leaves helps plants. It helps in creating a suction pressure, and pulling the water upwards helps in ascent of sap. Explain TS of a plant. I have told you already, if you look at the transfer section of a plant, if that is the TS of a plant, you have here, in all the small parts are written, shown to you here, they are called the vascular bundles, that is in monocots. If you write in the diagram in the dicot, you can say they will be they will be distributed all over here. That is in the monocot, and this is the dicot. You have to show the vascular bundles here. Try to remember the drawing. Please try to practice it. I'm grateful to authors of Creative Commons and Diksha, from where I have taken some images. I request you to read your chapter 6 especially, in which life processes are described. You have to score good marks. Examination is important for you. Please do not neglect it. Without neglecting, read your textbook and try to listen to this clip several times so that you remember many things. Thank you.